But guys, I want to go ahead and move on to the second topic of the day. This is crazy. We kind of talked about this last week as well. I really don't understand it, but I can't wait to get you guys' opinion on it. So that brings us to topic number 2. And it's just a huge payday for director Rian Johnson and also James Bond Daniel Craig for Knives Out and Netflix. And I really can't believe this, and I can't wait to hear what you guys are saying. I'm gonna come to you first, Elliot, and I have the report right here from Screen Rant saying Knives Out 2 and 3 may make Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig $100 million each, and that is just crazy.
Good God.
A report on Netflix's deal for Knives Out 2 and 3 says Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig and producer Ram Bergman could make $100 million each. Released in 2009, Knives Out was a surprise hit for studio Lionsgate, making over $300 million at worldwide box office and getting nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Audience immediately cried out for a sequel, and Johnson confirmed he was working on one in 2020. Then in March, it was announced that Knives Out 2 and 3 will be releasing on Netflix, with Johnson and Craig returning as writer/director and lead Bennett Blank, respectively. So, Elliot, I'm gonna come to you first, man. This is a big ass payday. How are you feeling about this, man? And again, before I get your comments, it's just funny because when I was putting this together, I was like, should I even talk about this? Because it sounds like I'm a big time pocket watching hater or something like that.
Counting the pockets.
Yeah, I'm not. This is
it's crazy, man. This is. I mean, look, where's where the money was at? I mean, they're getting a paycheck, man. They are getting paid. This is a power move by Netflix, man.
What a money reside.
Yeah,
exactly, man.
I have to do it.
Rian Johnson and Daniel are playing on a repeat right now. Yeah. And I mean, Daniel Craig, he has to be living right now just because, you would think leaving that franchise like Bond, that not saying his career would have faded away, but it's hard to find another type of franchise. That's almost like an NBA reference on a football player when they get their first major contract. And then, as the years go by, you're an NFL running back, you only have 6, 7, 8 years of your prime, and then you kind of fade off and retire. This is Daniel Craig saying, hey, I ain't going anywhere. I got Netflix to kind of back me up, and who knows what other franchise deals he's making with Netflix. But this is yet another power sign by Netflix saying that, hey, we're still on top, and we see you, Disney, we see you, HBO Max, we see you, Paramount Plus, and all 90 million other services. We're going to stay on top. And this is a move to show Hollywood, come play ball with Netflix because you're going to get paid. Just like Brandon just got that super chat right there with look at that.
Oh my goodness gracious, man. Hold on.
Just coming through.
Hold on. Lamont Tyson, $50. I'm feeling better, fellas, and should be back to 100 this week. Hold it down, Kings. Thank you. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. My goodness gracious. Thank you so much, Lamont. I really do appreciate it.
Coming through big time.
Yeah, now, if I'm not mistaken, when I was on last week, Lamont said that he has shares in Netflix. So maybe this is the benefit of the Netflix deal. They're just giving all the shareholders like, hey, making it rain on them. But
Lamont and I have talked about Netflix and his investments, and Netflix has been good to him.
Yeah,
there you go.
Right on. So but go ahead.
No, it's just a power movement. This is showing Hollywood here. If you come play ball with Netflix, you will get that paycheck. Rian Johnson, Daniel Craig, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. We got Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot in a movie coming out later this year. We got Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence in a movie later this year. So they are showing Disney. They're showing other studios. I'm looking at you, Warner Brothers. I'm looking at you, Sony and everyone else, which we'll talk about them a little bit later. Netflix is letting Hollywood know that they are here to play ball and they are willing to pay you the big bucks to come play ball with them. So power move, man.
I got you. Larry, where you at, man? Where you at?
I'll tell you, man, you might have to change the name of this show to like Dumb Business Decisions by Hollywood or something, man, because this is utterly ridiculous. I mean, they're just blowing the mark. I mean, first of all, if I'm an agent and I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, I'm Gal Gadot's agent, or I'm Chris Evans' agent. I'm like, Netflix come knocking on my door. I'll just straight tell them, you better have that that $100 million contract lined up. You know,
Larry, that's perfect, bro. Because let me go ahead and just share this with y'all real quick. This is the last paragraph. It talks about what you just mentioned. It's worth noting, though, that Knives Out franchise isn't a billion-dollar blockbuster behemoth, but rather a modestly budgeted series of mystery movies. These numbers then prove that Netflix has changed the movie business in more ways than one, establishing a precedent here that could see other filmmakers pushing for 8- and 9-figure deals for movies that wouldn't traditionally expect to pay that amount. Hopefully, the quality of the end product is good enough to justify the streaming service's enormous investment. I don't think it will justify it. I mean, it is a power move, but I don't think that Netflix can back it up personally. I just don't understand. Like, if you're paying these 3 people $100 million each, I don't think anybody has ever been paid that much for any project in Hollywood ever. I could be wrong. I think the highest was Robert Downey Jr.
for $50 million paycheck.
Like, 50 or 60, maybe even $70 million. But I could be wrong. I don't think. And maybe Christopher Nolan's deal for Tenet, because didn't he get like 20% of the gross or something like that? So if it would have made maybe,
but that's point.
Yeah, the back end points on it. Yeah,
whatever. That's true too. This is kind of an upfront deal. I've never heard of anything like this before in my entire life.
And I would love to know, and they'll never probably reveal this, but like, what are the contingencies? What are the exclusive deals that Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig are exclusively have to work with Netflix for the next, like the Adam Sandler deal when he made those 4 or 5 films and re-up his deal. I wonder if it's like bye-bye Star Wars for Rian Johnson, bye-bye, any other franchise that Daniel Craig was looting on, because maybe this is $100 million for part 2, part 3, and then 2 years from now, part 4, part 5, a spinoff TV series with Daniel Craig. Maybe that $100 million is like a 10-year exclusive deal with Netflix with those 2 guys. So I wonder what the details are of that deal.
Yeah,
I want to know if Daniel Craig took his James Bond spying action to real life and got some some pictures on some Netflix executives or something. Because this is crazy, man. It don't make any sense. I would totally understand this deal if they made this deal with Daniel Craig and MGM for the Bond for the next 2 Bond movies. I would totally understand that. But they gave up this Bond. They wouldn't pay $600 million for this last Bond, but they're gonna pay $450 million or something like that for Knives Out 2 and 3. No one's checking for Knives Out 2 and 3 like that. They're gonna watch it because it's available, but they're not coming to Netflix for it.
It's very weird, because for the longest it's been reported that they're losing billions of dollars each year, but in Q4 they announced that they didn't profit, but the net loss went down significantly, and it looked like they was going to be turning a profit around in the next couple of years. Then they go make an announcement of $450 million for Knives Out 2 and 3, as Larry just stated, and then $100 million for each of these 3. I just don't get it. And before we move on, like it just goes on. A new THR report reveals that the part of the $460 million deal, we said 450 last week, but it's actually 469. Johnson,
we're talking about nearly $500 million.
Right,
almost $500 million.
The report doesn't specify how the final numbers would be tallied, and it said the trio stands to walk away with that amount rather than guaranteeing it. But if they even come close to that kind of deal, it still would be a very good payday for them. Yes, it will. Even if they cut it in half. So that's very interesting to me right there. Y'all got anything else on this topic right here?
Only thing I gotta say is the rest of that cast, like Larry said, who else is going to be a part of that cast? Because that was the big selling point for the first film was, Michael Shannon, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ahmed Diarmas, Chris Evans. The cast was incredible. So is the rest of the cast going to get that $100 million as well? Or are we going to see less of the cast? It's literally going to be Daniel Craig playing 6 of the roles because they can't afford to bring anyone else into the forefront. So that's going to be interesting. And I would not be surprised next year we hear that there will be a spin-off series with some of the characters that are going to come up in part 2 and part 3, or even Daniel Craig himself might get an origin series because it is Netflix and they were known for their TV before their movies. So again, I expect more of the Knives Out universe with Rian Johnson and Mr. Daniel Craig.
Right on,
I'll
right
tell
on,
you
right
one
on.
of the
Well,
things
well,
that's
hold on, Larry. Let me go ahead and bring in my third guest for the show, coming from the Windy City of Chicago, and that is Mr. Eman with Eman's Movie Reviews. How you doing, sir? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas? Always a
nice.
pleasure to be here.
What's going
Yes,
on,
sir.
Hey,
man?
man, move to the
Yes, sir.
side a little bit. I'm trying to see what that T-shirt's on there.
Bro, I
Oh
was
man,
saying the same thing.
you already know what it is. You already know
There
what
we
it
go.
is.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
the
I
true
love it.
ruler of Wakanda,
Yes, sir.
T'Challa.
Killmonger.
Yes, sir.
T'Challa, you know.
Long live the
Yes,
You
king.
sir.
mean
Yes,
Killmonger?
No. I said it right. It was T'Challa. It was
Right on,
T'Challa.
right on. Well,
You know what it
Eman,
is.
thank you so much for being here, bro. I
How
do
to
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you taking out time to join us today. We're just on the second topic. I'm gonna just pass to you real quick, man. How are you feeling about this potential $100 million paycheck for Daniel Craig, the producer John Bergman, and also Rian Johnson?
That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because unless your name is Robert Downey Jr. and you doing Avengers 4, 5, 6, 7, or you The Rock, where you can actually demand a $50 million paycheck, that's a lot. I said earlier that I was okay with the fact that Netflix was putting the money into this franchise, mainly because what people don't see all the time, and I know Lamont was saying earlier that he kind of divested away from Netflix, but what people don't realize is like what happens to the stocks later when things become trendy. And Netflix is a master at marketing. They will make a movie, put it on there. It could be the crappiest thing in the world, but because they market it, because the average person is catching on to it, articles will be written about it. People are going to talk about it. And what is that going to do? It's going to lead to people having FOMO, for one, and fear of missing out. And then they're going to want to subscribe. And then what is Netflix going to do with that? They're going to come out, and it doesn't matter how long this lasts. They're just going to come out and be like, hey, look, we have the #1 amount of subscribers out there. We just gained 5 million subscribers. Blah, whatever the news is. And you know what's going to happen? Stock prices go up. So they know what they're doing. This is a long-term game that they're playing. So yes, it is a lot of money for now. And I do agree that it is definitely going to affect the market, going forward. Because like Larry said earlier, if I'm an agent, I'm sitting here like, yo, y'all better come up with that dope for my client. But I think as a company, what they're doing is solidifying their place as the #1 streaming platform. So even while theaters are going to be out there, they're going to be like, yo, we're going to come out with this Knives Out stuff. And, it's probably going to make more noise than we might initially expect. So it's a risky move, but I think they're playing the long-term game here.
Yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, guys, I got 124 people in the chat right now. That's what's up, guys. Can I please get some thumbs up? I got 74. If I can we get it up to 90 thumbs up? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Larry, and then we're gonna move on.
Let me ask you guys: do you think that people are really checking for Daniel Craig like that? I know he's a big star. I know that Bond has done well by him. But I feel like when people go and check for Bond, like to me, he's my favorite Bond. And if he puts out a Bond movie, I'm watching it, I'm there. But to be perfectly honest with you, if they put anybody else in Bond, I'm watching the Bond movie to at least give it a shot. But I'm not sure I'm checking for Daniel Craig in any other role. Not that he doesn't do other films that are great, but I'm just not like, oh, it's Daniel Craig. I definitely have to go see that movie. It's like, yeah, I'll check it out if it looks good. So I'm just wondering, like, are people really checking for him like that? Like The Rock. I'm watching whatever The Rock's in.
Right.
Whatever it is. I don't know. It could be dumb. It could be a little kids movie. It could be a big action flick. I'm checking for it just to see what's there. There's a few actors like that. But I'm not saying Daniel Craig's one of them for me.
I guess we'll see, my brother.